week. Lots going on as far as topics in the community, and one of them is the Joe Horn issue. That just will not go away.
Now, this Joe Horn issue is something that we really got to pay attention to because, you know, this weekend the newspaper had like a PR deal on him, and they talked about his life and average Joe. But we got to talk about something. Joe Horn went outside his house and went looking for the problem. It'd be a different story if he was standing inside his home at the door, you know, ready to shoot somebody, but the guy went outside and he shot these two gentlemen, okay, these two men, excuse the word if you want to get mad at that, and he did it in front of a police officer. I mean, why are we glorifying this?
I thought it was kind of interesting. The city of Pasadena just recently passed an ordinance. You cannot protest in front of someone's home. And they did it specifically for this case right here. Because remember, I believe it was 2 weeks ago that they protested in front of his home. And now they cannot do that, or else they'll be taken to jail.
And this story has has crossed international borders. In Colombia, I believe their newspaper there is doing stories about this very case. It's happening right here in Pasadena.
Well, it's getting a lot of coverage also in the Spanish newspapers here locally. Because what we're talking about here is that we're glorifying an American, doesn't matter what race, but he just happens to be Anglo, who went out and went to search and shoot down two individuals. You know, and what I don't like is the fact that you have other cases where they go and they arrest them and they process them. But in this case, we're just sitting back and watching it. And I just have a problem with the fact that, you know, we're not following the law. You know, we're trying to find gray areas in this law where, you know, here we have a man who went out looking for a problem. You know, these guys weren't coming into his home. He went outside.
But isn't the question the law?
Yeah, what is the law exactly? So we have different interpretations of what the law is. So which one is it?
Well, I disagree with you, Jose, because I have zero sympathy for anybody that's breaking into a home. If someone were to break into my home, I would feel violated, and I would do anything possible to make sure it doesn't happen again. And so, again, I disagree with you.
Well, you can disagree with me all you want, but the fact is somebody is, the law's pretty clear. How are we going to really know that when somebody else claims they went out there to shoot, you know, two criminals that are coming out there, but they shoot them out in their parking lot or in their driveway? How do we know the truth? The difference here is that he called the police and he said, I have these criminals across the street and he said, I'm going out to shoot them. It's on tape.
And the fact is that both men were shot in the back. They were running away from the scene.
Right. They didn't shoot him inside the house. They didn't shoot him protecting his wife or his children or himself. You know, I think they said they had like a little you know, weapon about yay big, and he shot him with a shotgun. You know, I'm not saying that I support the criminals. I'm not saying that I support criminal activity at all. But what I'm talking about is at what level do you defend yourself? You know, that's where the issue's at.
Okay, the DA is going to decide this one. And we still haven't heard from the district attorney to see what's going to happen with
Let's
it.
talk about the presidential race. You know, I was reading some...
That's a big jump, man.
He loves this topic.
I was reading some stats just a little while ago, and it's kind of interesting because the Iowa newspaper endorsed Senator Hillary Clinton and Senator John McCain. Isn't that ironic? Because Senator John McCain is ranked number 5 amongst Republicans.
Yeah.
So why would they even bother supporting him? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, they must like his platform. But also in the Iowa caucuses and on the Democratic side, it seems like it's a three-horse race right now because Clinton, Obama, and Edwards are almost neck and neck right today, I believe.
Well, according to the polls that I just picked out earlier today, Obama has 33%, Hillary Clinton has 24%, and John Edwards has 24%. Yeah. So Obama has the lead according to these polls. Isn't that amazing?
I think it is, and I really do hope that one of the three, actually one of the 6 win. I'm not going to say which way I stand, but I can tell you that the anti-immigrant sentiment really hurt my position with a party that I used to like.
Yeah.
Okay, but the fact is that the only thing that carries Huckabee across is that he has good personality skills. And he's got good nonverbal skills, and that's really helping him, come across the line. Because Giuliani, I mean, come on, great guy, but we look at him on camera. An image has a lot to do with this. He's a real great guy. He's done a lot of great things in the city, but we're talking about running a country here, not just a city.
Let me clarify, just to make sure, this poll is for Iowa only. It's not U.S.-wide.
Yeah.
So we're looking at Iowa. They have their election January 3rd. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens in the next couple of weeks.
And it's going to be interesting to see just how important this race is, because it seems to be losing a little luster.
It's all about momentum. If you can gain momentum there in Iowa, it carries forward.
Okay.
Well, let's talk about going back to Pasadena. The death of the young man, I forgot his name, Mr. Pedro Gonzalez Jr., died in the jail, Pasadena jail. Initially, they claimed that he died, I think it was in his sleep, and or he resisted arrest. Now, front page of the newspaper today, you know, that they say that the police ignored his pleas for help.
And he died in their custody.
And he died, and it's unfortunate. Here we go again. You know, what is the line? You know, here we had an individual who was arrested, let go, and then he was arrested again shortly. How do we hold people accountable for their actions? This includes police officers.
Well, the investigation is ongoing, so that hasn't stopped yet. So we'll have to hear what they come up with.
And then we come back to the same issue that many activists bring up. You know, how are you going to investigate yourself? Are you really telling the truth?
The police, right?
Yeah.
Is it a cover-up?
Well, is it? Because I can tell you this, I have a family that's a police officer, they're peace officers, and I really respect their effort. And there's a lot of good police officers, but like in any other business, being a police officer is like any other profession. You have a lot of good and a few bad, and it's unfortunate that a few bad will give a bad reputation across the board. So I really do hope something good comes out of this.
Okay.